Alright everyone, just wanted to make this video. A bunch of you subscribers are actually friends with me on Facebook, so you already know the news. But for those of you who aren't friends with me on Facebook, Winnie passed away. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Today's Wednesday. Winnie passed away yesterday. Feels like it's been forever, but she passed away yesterday afternoon actually. She was fine up until last Friday. Friday I had come home from work. Pat was already here, and he said Winnie's doing this coughing thing, so I put her in the cage. So I took her out of the cage, and she wasn't doing like the normal throw-up coughing, but she was coughing a little bit, just very subtly. So I thought nothing of it, you know. She ate, she drank, put her upstairs with me in my room where she normally slept on the bed. And Saturday morning, she jumped off the bed like she normally did, went outside. But I noticed that when I was bringing her downstairs, she just didn't look normal. She seemed lethargic, and I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, I did think of it, but I said to myself, okay, well, you know, we'll see what happens. Well, Saturday night, Pat gets home before I do, and he messaged me and said that Winnie had shit and peed her cage, and she rolled all over it. So I told him to put her outside until I could get home to give her a bath. I got home maybe a half hour later, and I saw Winnie outside walking around normally. I said, okay, good, she's still there. We were trying to figure out how to clean the kennel, and we figured out that, okay, he would clean the kennel out with the hose out in the backyard, but I needed to get her out of the backyard into the bathroom first. So we were going to do that. I look outside and I can't find her. I freak out, grab my shoes, and run out calling for her, and she comes out behind a bush. She was hiding behind a bush, or not, a tree in my backyard. For those of you who saw the video of Kenny chasing his daughter, that spoof we did, you'll recognize the tree, or you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, she walks slowly towards me, and I'm up on the deck, and she normally would run up the stairs, but she wasn't coming up the stairs at all. So I knew immediately something was wrong, and I come down towards her, and she's just looking at me funny, and I coaxed her up the stairs. She wouldn't climb the stairs. I had to pick her up, and when I put her down on the on the top of the deck, she almost fell over, and I said, "Oh fuck!" And I screamed for Pat, who was downstairs at the time. I said, "Pat, you got to come up here. You got to come up here." I immediately called the 24/7 veterinarian that's here in Pittsfield, and we went there. And when the doctor finally got there, she gave me a call and said Winnie was not looking good at all. Her blood count was extremely low. She was going to be put on steroids and all sorts of medications, and she may not make it through the night. Well, the next morning, which was Sunday morning, I did not go to work, obviously. I was waiting on the vet to call. They called with good news. When he was adjusting to the steroids, her blood count was going back up. She seemed alert. She was eating. She was wagging her tails, you know, la-di-da city. And Monday, the same thing. Monday, I could take her home. So Monday, I took her home, but she seemed lethargic as hell to me. And she got home. I brought all her stuff upstairs, all her doggy beds and everything else, and I brought her upstairs in the living room. I planned on taking Tuesday off from work as well, so I could go over with who I was about to hire to watch her during the day when me and Pat were at work until one of us could get back home. And she wouldn't eat. She seemed in rough shape. So I immediately called back to the animal hospital, the 24/7 animal hospital, and said, look, this is not the same dog you told me she was. So finally I get in a shouting match with the woman who should not... I'm not going to name the place I took her, but this woman should not be behind the counter of that place, okay? Just let's leave it at that. She has no idea what the hell's going on, ever, okay? She almost misdiagnosed. She's not a vet. She's just the technician or whatever. But she tried to make sure I got the dosages right. She almost fucked the dosages up on me. I call her up and said, Winnie's throwing up. Is this normal? Well, and her answer was, well, it could be. What do you mean it could be? It could be. What do you mean it could be? That's like saying she's bleeding out of her ears. Is this normal? Well, it could be. So suffice it to say, long story short, I get in a shouting match not only with her, but finally the vet called and said, I don't enjoy talking to my patients on my personal cell phone, so cut to the chase. What's going on, she says to me. I almost lost it over on the phone. But anyway, brought her back there. The next day I get a call from that same vet. Winnie has a disorder. It looks like an immune disorder. Her blood cells are attacking each other, blah, blah, blah. You really need to see a specialist here at this point. So they refer me to a place in Latham, New York. Great people. I forget what the hell it's called now, but 24-hour veterinarian service in Latham. You guys can look it up if you want, but they were great. They were great. They really were. So I brought her out there. I almost lost what I looked like to me on Tuesday. I almost lost her on the ride there. She kept closing her eyes like she was just the end of it, and but I made her stay awake somehow. She was awake. She got there, and she gets an ultrasound done and a whole bunch of stuff and all sorts of shit, and finally I dropped her off at 10:30 in the morning, and they said they do the ultrasound by 2:30. Well, 4:15 rolls around, and I know what's going on at this point. I know what's going on. Everyone's just looking at me that works there, and I know. They're not going to say anything to me because it's not their place, but I know. But anyway, so they took an ultrasound, an EKG, and the whole deal, and it looked like Winnie had a tumor growing not only on her spleen, but her liver. Now, had the tumor just been on the spleen, they might have been able to remove it. And then test it, but since it went to her liver, it was over. And I said to the doctor, I said, how long does she have? And she said, well, a few days to a couple weeks. I said, but what was going on is the tumor was breaking or something along those lines, was bursting, and she was internally bleeding, and the steroids had stopped that, I guess, or something had stopped it, but some medication, but at some point it was going to happen again. And she basically said, she can go home with you if you'd like for the last, so she can spend time with you guys. And I just looked at her, or the doctor. Winnie hadn't been in the room at that point, but I looked at the doctor and I said, I can't do that to her. I can't bring her home and she's in pain just so I can spend time with her. I can't do it. So we I came to the conclusion, that it was time for Winnie to go. And so they had her sedated, and she walks in, she walks right over to me, and just stood by me. And they let me have some time with her, and they brought in a blanket, so she would be comfortable, and the blanket comes in, and I'm looking at her, and I was able to somehow get her to lie down, and I lost it. I lost it. I mean, for those of you, you don't know, you've only known me really over the last few years with the scratch ticket videos, but I got Winnie when I was in college. I'd always wanted a dog, and my mom was allergic, never had a dog. So I've always wanted one. I always wanted one. My friends had them, and I finally got Winnie. And there was a woman from Steventown, New York, came by to my house with a shoebox filled with puppies, and there was Winnie. There she was. It's like when you go out and you look at cars and you say, that's the one. Out of all the cars, that's the one. Well, of all those puppies, that was her. She was my dog. She's beautiful. If you guys see my Facebook page, you'll see a photo of her, and as a puppy. Oh my God, was she beautiful. I mean, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful dog. God. And me and her had been through a lot. You know, she almost lost her when she was a puppy. She had E. coli. She had urinary tract infections. She couldn't keep food down. Somehow somebody was watching her and she got in a cat food. I mean, there was just a whole bunch of shit going on with her. And I remember taking her to a vet in North Adams, Greylock Animal Hospital, where I was living at the time, North Adams. And they said, well, you might have to put her down. And I said, oh no. Oh no, I was crying at the vet back then, 6 months in. I said, I'm not putting her down. Oh no, something's not right here. And I never took her back there, and she got better. So, coincidence, who knows? But she's been with me my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but I mean, I'm 33. I got her when I was 21. I got her, 20, 21. I mean, we're talking almost over a third of my life. She's been with me, from moving from college to West Main Street, North Adams, and then moving when I bought my house in North Adams on Mass Ave, to moving to Pittsfield when I bought this house here, and then moving to Illinois when I lived out there. She got attacked by horseflies in Illinois. She survived. She got hit by a car because when I went on vacation, somebody was supposed to be watching her, and they fucked up and they left my gate open, and she escaped. She survived. I mean, I thought I lost her when she got hit by a car. I thought she was done, but no, she survived. She was one tough dog, man, and she loved everyone, and everyone loved her. And I mean, and then on the car ride back from Illinois to here, when I came back home, to everything in between. She was I don't know what to do, guys. I mean, I'm just, I literally want to jump out of my skin. I don't know what to do. I'm sitting here and the house is empty. It's not the same. I mean, when I would play my games downstairs, she'd be right there on her doggy bed, hanging out. Pizza guy comes at the door, she'd be tap dancing because she knew she was getting, pizza. She was so excited. Anytime it was dinner time, she would tap dance. She loved car rides. Oh my God, did she love car rides. She got so excited when the leash came out because she knew she was either going for a walk or going in the car. Beautiful dog, and I loved her to death. And I was with her when she took her last breath. I didn't want her to be alone. I asked the vet, the doctor there. I said, look, is she going to even be aware that I'm in the room with her? She's just out of it. And the doctor goes, no, she is sedated, but she'll know you're there. And so she immediately walked right over to me, so she did know I was there. But I lost it. I apologize to her. I mean, for her to go through this out of nowhere. You guys saw Scratch Ticket Thursday last week with Ava, nicknamed Goldilocks. I mean, you saw her. Winnie was excited. And from that point, at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, to the next day where she's done, where she started having signs of just being done. I mean, that's terrible. It's terrible. I look, for those of you who have pets, man, don't regret anything. Don't just shoo them away. Don't say, oh, we'll do something. I mean, don't, because trust me, I have 1,000. I have 1,000,000 regrets. Million regrets. And for those of you who don't have pets and you have loved ones, don't shoo them away either. I gotta take some of my own advice because I'm a very strange person. I don't really call people. I don't talk to people. I don't I'm independent as hell. I've always been that way. I have my set routine, and I feel like I'm accomplishing something in my life if I get certain things done, whether it be a video game or a TV show or a movie or whatever the case may be, putting the games away, whatever the case may be. Accomplishment in my life. I feel like I've achieved something in my own brain. But calling people, my dad's still alive. I gotta start doing that. You know, he's getting up there. He's in his mid-70s. I got to start doing that more often. But anyway, that's the that's the deal with Winnie. For those of you who saw American Horror Story last night, can you believe it? Can you believe that girl's nickname in the show is Winnie? I watched it this morning and I said to myself, I laughed. I said to myself, you got to be kidding me. Of all the shows I could watch, and of all the names they could pick, it's Winnie. You know, I'd like to believe that somehow, some way, that was Winnie's way of saying thank you or goodbye or whatever the case is. I know that's not possible, but I'd like to believe it. I'd like to believe it. That dog was something else, man. And I was so honored to have her for her whole life. I was so honored to have her be part of my life. And I could be wrong. I think it was Jay Schreffler who sent her the toy that she never used. She never liked it for some reason, the pig thing. But if it was Jay Schreffler, thank you, Jay. If it was Redskin fan, I forget who it is. I think it was Jay Schreffler who sent that, though. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. But thank you to everyone who showed support on my Facebook page. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I mean, you know, even though I've never met some of you, the fact that you would even take the time to comment means a lot. And I'm just gonna have to. I gotta move on somehow. I still gotta go to work. I still gotta make a living. I mean, my life's just not gonna stop. I can't have it just stop. Although I wanted to, not like kill myself, but I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit at home. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. I mean, gee, you talk about depressed. This is beyond depressed. This is beyond depressed. I have no desire, no motivation to do anything right now. But there will be a football show coming on after this. I have to get that done because tomorrow's opening night. The opening night of the football season. The Pats and the Chiefs are the first game of the year, so we have to get the football show in. And tomorrow there will be a Scratch Ticket Thursday. It'll probably just be me, unless I can find somebody short notice. But I will give you guys a Scratch Ticket Thursday. We'll dedicate it to Winnie. But that's the update. So thank you guys, and you know, as they say, the show must go on. So the show will go on. Thank you.